April 20th, 2022. I'm watching CBS this evening, and it has on the television about Mexico into the United States of North America, the crossing by Texas. It has Border Patrol, it has federal agent on it. They are instructed by President Joe Biden, they say. It shows the two flags for the distance between and what it means. And it says border crisis. It says also that these people in Mexico, they only use the one word, Mexico. They don't use a city or a town. They just call it Tent City on this particular broadcast, which again, I've heard these conversations in the background, I guess background noise before, but the conversations never, it's like sitting at a table and having the plate, the napkin, the knife, the fork, and just staring at the plate. I know it exists, but there's nothing to do, they don't give any serving of anything on the plate that makes sense past that. Like, for instance, on the evening news, why are these people being pushed, or why are they rushing to the border? What are they rushing to the border for? What's going on where they left? Why did they leave? There's no information. And on this side of the border, it's like already past maximum capacity. I don't understand why. I mean, have to deal with what we already have that's gotten here from all different walks of life and is now having children and settling in and growing. I mean, it's just it's a nightmare. And then to have more coming and wanting to come over the border. There's a saying, I know I'm not independently wealthy. I take care of myself at this point. But then to have bodies pushed into an area for a homeland that can't even afford my upkeep this gets, how does that work? And who's playing this larger game? It's just, and then there's nobody even in my daily life that I could look up to and ask these questions to. It's so frustrating. It's frightening as anything. Because, I see that they have a flag. I see that they have a label of where they're coming from. I can see that they don't look familial. They look some other ancestry completely. But I don't know what's going on that side. I can barely figure out what's going on this side. So I don't understand why they would want to come this way. And I don't understand why anybody would let them either. Especially when there's something going on in Mariupol right now, or Ukraine right now, where they're letting some refugees, but there's also a lot of devastation there. So that gets confusing. And they just said, but they didn't specify. They just said that Mexico took on a whole bunch of refugees from Ukraine. So if they were taking on refugees from Ukraine, Why are their own people wanting to leave? Like, I just don't understand when they say these things, because it's only like, it's not even half of a story. There's so many pieces that if I feel are missing.
We want to take a closer look at a developing crisis at the southern border. Next month, President Biden is expected to lift Title 42. That's the pandemic-era policy that allowed for the quick deportation of hundreds of thousands of migrants. But right now, authorities are dealing with a sharp rise in the number of migrants at the border. Jacob Rascone from my sister station in Houston joins us now live from McAllen, Texas, with the latest. Jacob?
Sandra, we have made our way over on the other side in Mexico, Reynosa. This is one of those, they call them tent cities. There are thousands of migrants who live here. Right now, they're getting 7,000 migrants per day crossing or attempting to cross the U.S.-Mexico border, which is more than ever before. And as we saw in our ride-along, the agents have never been busier.
And I don't know how, but people that look like that wound up in New York. In Long Island, like in large droves. No idea how they arrived and no idea how they're self-sustaining.
There are 6 people hiding in the orchard. Everyone knows how to play hide and seek.
We have a sign of about 4 or 5 heading north from Guerra. You'll see my flashing strobe in the orchard. Copy.
But this is no game. Everything on the line. We're chasing a group of, 6? And the hiding and the seeking. So he ran back down and ran back out into Mexico. Never end. This group came over like so many others on a makeshift ladder over the border wall. Then they hid in some brush. Then they jumped the fence here. And a K-9 unit found them all hiding underneath the van. Border crossings have never been higher. Agents have never been busier. They all came alone, all of them from different countries: Honduras, El Salvador, Guatemala, Nicaragua. And
I mean, I've seen movies. I've seen Sicario. Why are there not sharpshooters? I mean, they make these movies in Hollywood. They make it sound like the federal agents have these, like, mucho gusto, like they're protecting Joe Biden in the White House at the border, and they're not letting anybody over. I don't understand why sharpshooting is not allowed if it becomes so much of a threat that they're actually pushing up and in. I mean, it doesn't make sense. And why are they leaving where they are?
And now, CBP predicts the number of migrant crossings may double starting next month. Families are running to see if they can get on the bus. They are desperate to get out of...
This looks like what's in New York City right now. I don't know how they got here. I don't know who allowed them here. I don't know if they came in and what happened to all the other people that were originally in Manhattan. I have no idea. But this is, especially not having cities set up in receivership and like the indigenous not prepared for all of this to just show up for like the next school year with clothes, and they are getting fed and paid, but yet I still have no housing of my own. No clothing allowance, no way to take care of my son on my own, but yet they're somehow allowing some population into the interior of the United States of North America, and they're able to find housing, clothing, and so on and so forth. I mean, there's something that's not right. There's something very broken with the system right now.
Out of this tent city, look at how many hundreds of people, but they're told they can only get on the bus and go to the shelter if they've been living here for at least 9 months. Hundreds of thousands of migrants desperate for a new life. ¿Cómo se siente? ¿Tiene miedo? Are you scared?
Todo bien.
No, you're not scared. Feliz estar acá. Are you happy to be here?
Feliz. Agradecido con Dios porque llegamos acá.
Thankful to God because we got here. Countless cartel members desperate to take advantage.
They are exploiting this vulnerable population and making money off of it. When in reality, the border is closed.
And many migrants just trying to make it to Houston. Okay, so we said Houston there, but we meant migrants here, of course, who want to make it to New York, New Jersey, Chicago, Los Angeles, everywhere in between. We're talking about from 7,000 a day, right?
It sounds like he's taking a McDonald's takeout order. Like, oh, if they could go Make a Wish Foundation, like if we could just sponsor whatever. They'd like to go to New York. Yeah, I hear that. New York's under construction at the moment. I don't know what happened or whatever was working prior before I got here, but I don't know. But it's like, does this become, I mean, it doesn't look like they have TVs where they are in these 10 cities. So I don't know if they're actually seeing this broadcast or if there's a line of communication that allows for these things. But how does one, I mean, I'm doing what I'm doing right now with my parlay overlay, but I mean, it's frightening. I don't know anything about the population. I don't know their culture that they're coming from. I don't know what they might want to reestablish when they get here. I mean, I don't even have anything from Europe established here. Everything here looks like it's, I don't want to even say it because then you upset the blades of grass.
Now attempting to cross to up to 18,000 a day. That is the worst case scenario that Border Patrol gives after Title 42 leaves. So that is the issue here, and that is why so many people from the Border Patrol to the local mayors are worried about what might happen come next month. Reporting live in Reynosa, Mexico, I'm Jacob Rascon. Sandra, back to you.
Jacob, your story illustrates exactly what is at stake here. Thank you very much for that reporting. And there is still much more news ahead. Eyewitness News at 6 begins right now.
This is New York's number.
But it feels, after several generations that have made it here, it feels like there's some process that was started. I don't know if it was in the 50s, the 60s, wherever it was. However, my parents don't know about it or were left out of it. I'm not quite sure. For myself, however, I was left out of it, and it's been formulating something around and then calling for more of whatever. I mean, it is just, it's unbelievable when I look at the public schools in the city and I look at the demographics, and there is really no, I mean, Hugh Jackman was on before and about some foundation. He's like, oh my gosh, I'm from Australia and New York is such a community. It's so wonderful. You really? Because I'm not feeling so. I was born here. And is it because you're Victorian that like everybody just loves you with open arms? Or maybe like because you're a star. I don't know. But like it's when you're just out of a mom and like hand up, like looking for someone to look up to, it's really difficult. I don't know if it's just the crowds he runs with, but I mean, to find an inn or to find where you belong, it's like rots a ruck is what it feels like. It's star 1978, star 8378, Nicole, Cattaruzza. It's Earth, solar system, Milky Way, universe, galaxy is broken. It's Bayside Station, Bayside, New York, 11361. And at the moment in New York, I'm also having problems underneath here with tidal pressure, and breathing today has become really difficult. It's that kind of breathing today. I don't know what's going on with the pressure system.